Hey everyone, I have a very encouraging thought to share with you today. Hey, I'm Melissa with The Simple Life Wife, and I make videos on brain retraining and healing from chronic illness. If you're interested in that, please subscribe. I would love to have you. I thought it was time to make a video because I had such an encouraging, a help today. Obviously from God, but a friend shared a video with me, and it's just, sometimes you just get these kind of like light bulb moments, and I've definitely had one today, and it brought me out of a hard past few days. And so I'm going to share, as you know, with brain retraining, if you've been in it at all, it is very much like this, ups and downs, and that's the way it works. And so everything I'm saying in this video is like 98% from this other video I watched by this brain retraining coach named Miguel. I can't even remember the name of his channel. I haven't really watched his other stuff too much. So I will definitely link his video below, and I encourage you to go watch it because he had excellent thoughts. And the only reason I'm regurgitating it here is to widen the audience of who gets to hear it and to have my audience hear it. So this is for you all. I'll let you know if there's something I say that wasn't really his. So he actually made this chart, and I adjusted a little bit, but this is the chart. I don't know if you can even see it very well. There. So the idea is that you have to have symptoms in order to recover. And I love that idea because we spend so much time in brain retraining, I feel like, trying to avoid symptoms. We're not really supposed to, but at least in my own life, I find myself, if I have a symptom, then the fear comes up again. But the way he framed it is, let me just say it so you can understand. He has 3 different steps on the way to recovery. And this is kind of the constant flow of brain rewiring, is you're constantly doing these 3 steps, and that's how you recover. First one is there's some sort of stimulus or activity or something introduced that causes symptoms, the next step. And these things are necessary for growth and recovery. So I loved how he pointed that out. You can't just let's say you go on a run. There's so many things that will trigger symptoms. You eat something, or there's so many things that your nervous system clings onto as when you have an overactive nervous system. So many little things that it could be that would cause you to flare up into symptoms. Whatever it is, someone says something negative to you, whatever it is, whatever the stimulus is, something has to be introduced. You have to have symptoms in order to get to the growth up here. So to try to avoid step 2, you can't get to the growth then. So if you find yourself in symptoms, it's okay. It's part of the process. It's the continuous part of the process. And it's not just a one-time thing. I mean, this is like a year or 2, or however, we don't put a time frame on brain retraining, but of constant growth. I mean, that's the idea, is constant. There's a stimulus, there's symptoms, there's growth. Or you could go the negative path. So let me just read what I have here. You can go one of 2 ways. And this is the way we've been going in order to have chronic illness. So when your symptoms come, what we've been doing to keep the fight or flight going is we add fuel to the fire, which means we panic, we fear, and we become hopeless. And I loved how he pointed out, it's not that those things aren't there a little bit, when you're healing, there's always a little bit of that. But this is when it's overwhelming, you're giving into it, and you are completely consumed and I absolutely understood what he meant. It is so easy to go there. Panic, fear, hopelessness. I think I added the hopelessness, but just that idea. And so he calls that adding fuel to the fire, which leads to chronic illness, the downward spiral, fight or flight. That's where we've been going this whole time. We've been having the stimulus, we've been having the symptoms, but to lead to the chronic illness, we've been taking that path. So he's saying the healing path after symptoms, which we are necessary, see in step 2. Step 3, the positive one to get out of chronic illness, is let the fire fizzle out. He says it doesn't just go away. It will fizzle out if you stop adding fuel to the fire. So the way that you stop adding fuel to the fire is when your symptoms come, and I said this, I put it more of a Christian twist on it. Peace, trust, hope, and you choose those things. Yes, there's an element that there's a little bit of fear there, but it's not the overwhelming thing. You're not choosing that. You are choosing peace, trust, and hope, and letting the fire of symptoms fizzle out. And the emotional symptoms always goes with physical symptoms. With me, that's the case. So when you let it fizzle out, you are going the growth path, which is your body's learning to adjust. And that is absolutely what our bodies need. It's a continual learning to adjust to the stimulus. And that's how you make recovery steps forward, and you are calming your nervous system. And that is the only path to recovery. So I hope that encourages you. I love that thought that you have to face the symptoms in order to find the growth. Over and over and over in brain retraining, this is the path that you're supposed to take. So just because you have some symptoms doesn't mean you're failing and crashing and flaring and all the bad language. I'm going to stop saying flaring. I always say that. Oh, I'm in a flare. He says to use the word adjust. It's an adjustment. I'm adjusting. My body is adjusting to the stimulus. That's all it is. And it's absolutely necessary to growth and recovery. So I have found a huge element of hope just in that idea. So I hope that helps you too. So I put a little note on here for myself. Note, there must be symptoms in order to reach recovery. It's all about my response to the symptoms. Will I respond positively or will I respond negatively? And that will determine how your brain retraining goes. Okay, I just love it. And thank you to my brain retraining friend Kim for pointing me to this video. Bye, y'all. See you next time.